Car Obsession is proudly supported by Carly and Draggy. Check out the video description to find out the latest discount codes.
Hello guys, welcome back to Car Obsession and welcome to another walk around. This time I'm joined by the brand new Suzuki S Cross. So as always, I will take you around the car, talk you through the specification and give you my first impressions. Now, if you happen to be new to my channel, firstly, hello, thank you for joining me. My name is Aaron, and secondly, my walk around videos are pretty much a static review of the car. Therefore, if you're looking for driving content, that won't come in this video, but rest assured, there will be a full review coming in due course. Now, if you are an OG viewer of my channel, you will know that I drove the last S Cross many moons ago. In fact, it may have been one of the first videos on the channel. Whilst I'm here, I do want to give a big shout out to Suzuki Cars UK because they were one of the first manufacturers to really give me a shot at reviewing cars. So yes, I am very grateful for that. Anyway, that was then, this is now, and of course we're joined by the new model. Now, I do think it is a good looking car and arguably better looking than its predecessor, but of course styling and design is subjective. You know what they say, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Having said that, it's still not quite as stylish or as chic or as fashionable as its rivals, such as the Nissan Qashqai, the Hyundai Tucson and the Peugeot 3008 or 3008, however you want to say it. But where the S Cross wins out is on price and value, because this has so much value for money, it's almost bursting out of the seams. So this is only available in just 2 trim levels to make it really nice and easy for a consumer. You've got Motion and Ultra, which have respective starting prices of £24,999 and £29,799. The car you see in front of you is the range-topping Ultra. Therefore, it comes with a lot of standard, but to be fair, even the Motion has a lot of standard as well. So let me talk you through the features. So you've got LED lights. I've got 17-inch alloys, keyless entry, panoramic roof. I've got tinted rear windows. If I take you inside the car, you will see you've got leather seats, the front of which are heated. You've got a touchscreen just there with DAB radio, Bluetooth, smartphone connectivity and navigation. I've got dual zone climate control. I've got automatic lights, automatic wipers. I've got a reversing camera, 360-degree camera as well, front and rear parking sensors, as well as a good amount of safety kit, including blind spot monitoring, rear cross traffic alert, adaptive cruise control, autonomous emergency braking and lane departure warning, as well as 7 airbags. So if I've missed any features off, I do apologise, but that was all from memory, and I'm very surprised that, that I was able to remember all of that off the top of my head. But yes, what do you think about the styling, guys? I think it's quite a sharp looking car. Now, this particular car is finished in silky silver metallic. A bit of a boring colour if you ask me, but it's nice and safe, so when you come to resell the car, it should be easier because it's a nice neutral colour. Now, I mentioned the choice of trim levels is very simplistic. So is the choice of engines, because there's just one. Let me lift up the bonnet and I can show you it. Incidentally, it is the same engine that is used in the Suzuki Swift Sport. So bonnet release just there. Right. Always awkward with one hand. There we go. So yes, it is a 1.4 litre turbocharged petrol, which offers 129 horsepower, along with 235 Newton meters of torque. All if you go for the Ultra trim level, you get start again, Aaron. Got a bit tongue twisted. Sorry. If you go for the Ultra trim level, you do get the all-grip, all-wheel drive system as standard. If you go for the Motion, then that is front-wheel drive. Now, this car, as an option, does have the 6-speed automatic. Normally, the car would come with a 6-speed manual, and that option is £1,350. But yes, anyway, let me pop the bonnet down. It is a bit heavy. So that engine offers 129 horsepower. Actually, I've already said that. Ignore me. Sorry, got a bit lost in the moment there. Now, normally at this point, I would talk you through the performance, but in a car like this, that does seem to be a little bit redundant. So let me focus on the fuel economy, as I'm sure that is bound to be more important to you guys. So on a combined run, this car can offer up to 52.3 mpg with CO2 emissions as low as 120 grams per kilometre. But as I've mentioned, this has got the all-grip all-wheel drive system and the 6-speed automatic, so the economy does fall down a little bit. Therefore, on a combined run, you're looking around 46 mpg for the fuel economy, and this emits 139 grams per kilometre. Now, I've had this car for almost a week now, and I've been averaging around 45 mpg, so very close to the official stats provided by Suzuki, so not too shabby. Now, there is a full hybrid coming. This car is a mild hybrid. This has got a 48 volt system to help give the engine power at lower revs and of course improve efficiency and fuel economy, which is good. So yes, you get a mild hybrid tech as standard, and that's something that Suzuki is very proud to announce. Now, whilst I'm at the back of the car, let me show you the boot, which in all honesty is a disappointing area because it offers 430 litres, which may not sound awful, but it is smaller compared to its rivals, the Qashqai 3008 and the Tucson. Now, of course, you can't really see into the boot because it's filled with my filming crap as usual, but I will cut to a clip where the boot is emptier. Now, yes, the boot isn't the largest, but on the plus side, there's not much in the way of a load lip. You've got a little bin either side where you can put some items, so one on the left-hand side and one on the right. Just move my trainer. And as you can see, I've just got some cleaning products in there. And there we go, get the lighting okay. You've also got a hook on the left-hand side just there and a 12-volt socket on the right-hand side. It's also worth noting that you do have storage underneath the boot floor. So that this is kind of like a false floor, so to speak. Now, if you fold down the rear seats, you do, of course, get more space. But yes, this isn't the largest of boots. Now, from a family point of view, Mrs. Car Obsession did say that getting a child seat into the rear was very easy. Let's see how wide the doors open. So fairly wide, not the widest I've seen. I'm trying to think, there's one car where it opens 90 degrees. Is it the Honda CR-V? I must admit, I've tested so many SUVs, it's difficult to remember. But yeah, quite a nice wide opening into the car. As I said, Mrs. Car Obsession had no trouble fitting a child seat into the back. So if you're concerned about that, then there's no need to be, because it should be a doddle. Now let me go to the driver's side and I can show you rear space. Now, as always, the driver's seat is set for me. I'm 6'2", so I am of course a taller chap, but as you can hopefully see, I've got a lot of space in which to climb into. So let me just take you off my mini tripod, just pop it to one side so I've got better maneuverability. So yes, let me step inside the car, like so. And yes, as you can see, I've got plenty of knee room and plenty of leg room. And I can fit, well, I can kind of fit my feet underneath the seat in front of me. I'm hitting a unit, which I think that's for the hybrid system. I think that might be the battery for it. But anyway, let me bring you down here. And if I bring my legs back, you can see I've got loads of leg room. And bearing in mind, this seat is set up for my height. If I wanted to, I could put it back further and the rear passenger would still have space. Very, very impressive. There is a problem though, and it is headroom. Now, this car as standard does come with a panoramic roof, and quite often these panoramic roofs can cut into headroom, and as you can see, that is the case here. The headlining is trying to eat my hairline. So yeah, if you are a taller person, you won't want to sit in the back of this car because, like I say, as you can see, I'm quite cramped. Now, fitting 3 adults in here, I think it would be too much of a squeeze in all honesty, but of course, having children in the back, you do of course have ISOFIX points, but really that should go without saying. Now, in regards to practicality, that's not too bad in the back in all honesty. I do have a door bin in which you can fit a smaller bottle, so let me just climb over and reach my drink here, a very vibrant drink. And as you can see, that fits in with no dramas. I've also got an armrest in the middle, which is a pleasant surprise, along with 2 cup holders. So again, I can get my bottle, and it fits in rather nicely. You don't get any charging ports in the back, which is disappointing, but there is a 12-volt socket in that within that armrest, so you can always feed a cable through and round. A little bit clunky, but I'm sure you can get around it. You've also got a hook either side, so you can hang an item of clothing up. So yeah, the practicality isn't too bad in the back, but it would be nice to have maybe a bit of extra storage here and also some charging ports. Oh, I've got to mention, you do get a map pocket in the back of the front passenger seat, but not in the back of the driver's seat. Right. Speaking of Suzuki's, look, there's a Jimny, an old school Jimny. I think there's everything to cover in the back, isn't it? So let me climb into the front and I can show you a bit more of the features. There's a button for the keyless entry, but the car is of course already unlocked. Oh. Now, unlike a lot of brand new cars, you do have analog dials, not a digital speedo, but of course this car is at a cheaper price point, so of course Suzuki needs to save money in certain places, and that's not an insult, it's just an observation. You do get a little digital display in the middle though, so you do get some form of modern technology. So let me just hit the stop button, which is just there, and you get a glimpse of the touchscreen. And hopefully if I close this door, watch this. You get a little 360-degree view of the car. Of course, if you're a good driver, you'd still check your blind spots, but that's quite snazzy. And look at that, ooh, a bird's eye view of the car. Now, I took my dad out for this. I took my dad out for driving this, and he was he's quite puzzled as to how the car was able to get that angle. It's like, oh, it's like you got a drone following you. Obviously, he didn't think that, but yeah, he was trying to work out how, for example, if I put it into reverse, you'll see you've got the 360-degree camera, and he was trying to work out how that image was being projected. Bless him. But yes, you got the touchscreen. So as I mentioned, you've got navigation. You can see the average fuel economy, 45.3 mpg. Got the music on the left, but I've got nothing connected because my phone is in flight mode, and I'm in a place where there's no signal. There's the little digital display in the middle. Dual zone climate control, as I mentioned. Got just one USB port down there, just the one. A little bit disappointing. No wireless phone charging pad, but in all honesty, for a car of this price, I wouldn't really expect it. You can see the buttons for the heated seats there. Very simplistic, low or high, or just off. You do have a choice of driving mode, so you've got snow, auto or sport, and you've also got a lock mode if you want to do a bit more off-roading, which I would argue if you want to go off-road in a Suzuki, that's what you want. You want a Jimny. That is a car that will pretty much go anywhere you like, although it is out of focus. That's a tiny bit better. There we go. But yeah, that's what you want if you want to go anywhere in a Suzuki, a Jimny. As I mentioned, you've got the panoramic roof. Let me just open it up. So you do have a blind if you want to shut the world out, or if you want some daylight to cascade into the cabin. It's a good word, that, isn't it? Cascade. You can open it up, and then that did take quite a long time, I must admit. And there we go. You can let the British summertime in, along with all the nasty wasps and God knows what. That actually opens quite wide. I wasn't expecting. Look at that, look. That's a wide opening. You could parachute into this car if you wanted to. A bit like Austin Powers in, was it The Spy Who Shagged Me? There we go. Yeah, just give you another glimpse of the reversing camera. There we go. Got blind spot monitoring and rear cross traffic alert, again as standard. You've got paddles for the 6-speed automatic. The 6-speed auto works quite well. The changes are fairly smooth and fairly quick as well. Nowhere near as kind of slick as a DSG, but again, you're going to be paying more money for that kind of thing. And I think this auto, if I'm happy to be corrected, I think it's a torque converter as opposed to a dual clutch unit. So of course it won't be as snappy as a DSG. So yeah, not a proper complaint, just an observation. What else to show you in here? Let's talk about the practicality. and get the door open because it's quite warm in this cabin. So the door bins are of a decent size. You've got a 750ml bottle in there, as well as a bit of space left over. Got the press pack for the car just there from Suzuki. You do have a little cubby hole just here where you can pop a few smaller items, out of sight, out of mind. Got the tray here, well, tray slash cubby hole where you can pop your phone. And it's quite handy that it's slanted down, so it will help to keep the phone in place. 2 cup holders in the middle, which are a bit of an awkward size, because if I get, can I reach that bottle? No. If only I was Mr. Tickle. But that bottle I showed you earlier doesn't quite sit well in there, so it moves about when you're driving, which is a little bit annoying. You've got a centre armrest, which is adjustable like so. Nice touch. And lift it up, you've got some storage in there, got some snacks in there, and there's a 12-volt socket just there, you can just about see. Sunglasses holder, I do like that, a nice handy feature. And last but not least, you do have a glove box which offers a decent amount of space. There we go. Now the cabin is a little bit plain Jane, isn't it? It's not exactly bursting with style, but again, this is a cheaper car. If you want a more fashionable cabin, you will need to spend more money on cars such as the Peugeot 3008, for example, but there's more money, so there needs to be some compromises, some give and take. We do get the nice leather seating, which the front of which, as I've mentioned, are heated. Getting a good driving setup is easy. The steering wheel's got a pretty good amount of adjustment, and so has the driver's seat, but it's all manual. None of it is electronic, but to be fair, would you expect any of it to be? I don't think so. I'm trying to think of any kind of standout negative things about this car. It's a bit hard to demonstrate them whilst I'm stationary, but the road noise and the wind noise is quite pronounced. This isn't overly good in the corners because it's quite roly-poly, but again, you're not buying this car for its handling characteristics, are you? Let's just turn that off. Step outside once more. So there would of course be a full review coming, so if you've got any questions or queries, please drop them in the comment section and I will answer them as quickly as I can and to the best of my ability. But yes, there we go guys. I'll give you one last walk around the car. The brand new Suzuki S Cross. A very good value for money SUV. Not the most thrilling or perhaps the most stylish, but if you want a no-nonsense, honest, value for money car that will suit your family well, okay, the boot isn't the largest, but that aside, then this should definitely be on your shopping list. And it is a Suzuki, so it's bound to be reliable as well. Lovely stuff. So yes, I hope you have enjoyed this video or found it useful. If so, be sure to like, comment and subscribe. If you are subscribed, don't forget to click the bell icon so you get notified every time I make a video. But until the next time guys, be sure to keep up the car obsession.